Hi, Diana here with your technique tip for the day. We're going to be covering forward flexion, how to do that safely. In order to safely go into a forward fold or flexion, you have to understand a little bit about the structure of your spine. You've got vertebrae that are pretty rigid and hard, and in between you've got discs that are fluid and move depending on compressional force. Think of a water balloon. When you squeeze one side, it moves over to the other side. So, super important that when we go into flexion that we don't go with too much force that is squeezing that water balloon so that it bursts out the back. That would be a herniated disc or a bulging disc that we want to avoid. So we want to make sure no strain and struggle, and we want to make sure that we distribute that back bend as evenly as we can through the spine. I'll show you what that's like as I come into cat pose. I'll start by lifting my mid back up. Now that already moves in this direction, so I don't want to overdo that. Then I start to curl my chin in, my tail in, but I'm monitoring to make sure that it doesn't feel like a lot of pressure, it doesn't feel like a lot of force, and I'm doing my best to evenly distribute that back bend from the crown of my head to my tail. I'm going to ease my way back to neutral and have a seat once again. Now, there's one other consideration when we're going into flexion, that it's not just the force that you're applying with the shape or the movement. There's also the force of gravity. The more horizontal you are to the earth, the less force of gravity. The more vertical, the more force is added in. Seated has the most force because that force of gravity is distributed from the crown to your seat. Standing, it travels down through your legs as well and lessens the concentration in the spine. So in a pose like rabbit, where we are essentially seated, we need to be especially careful that we're not forcing the forehead to the knee, not feeling pressure or pain in the back as we come into it, as we hold it, as we come out of it. And that is your technique tip for the day for going into safe flexion of your spine.